Guys, hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV, and Liverpool have just drew 1-1 with Fulham on the opening day of the season. Not the result that you obviously want, but I think going into the game, that's the mindset. Going out of the game, I think we're feeling rather happy with a point. I don't know if you agree. Some people might say I've got a loser mentality there, but I do think that you've just sometimes got to sit back and say, Fulham were just well more up for it than us. We know that they haven't got more quality, but at the end of the day, they maximised the talent that they have in their squad, which is, I'd probably say they've got about 6, 7, maybe 8 solid, decent players. And then people like Mitrovic were the ones who made the difference. He was so hard to control today throughout the game, and we'll break it down into pieces. When you look at the situation, I feel like a lot of people are going to panic. I think it's, we were terrible. Oh, Bobby was absolutely diabolical, which he was. I think a lot of players can't really leave that game with the heads held high. I thought Trent was very, very below par. Van Dijk making decisions that he wouldn't usually make, but we'll talk about the dive and that, if it's a dive, in a bit. The first thing that I do want to say is Fulham just came out and executed the right game plan. They wanted to press, they wanted to overrun the midfield, they wanted to give us a hard time, and that's exactly what they done. We couldn't string 2 passes together. They came out straight away, guns blazing, putting those crosses into the box. And in the opening, the whole first half, but especially in the opening half an hour or so, that's where we struggled the absolute most. Then the goal came, Mitrovic going over Trent Alexander-Arnold. I feel like we've got to talk about that. I know that I'm somebody who's defended Trent on numerous occasions regarding his defending. I don't think he's as bad as what people make out, but that's not good enough. You've got to be on your toes, you've got to be alert, you've got to get into that position. And if I was Jurgen Klopp, I'm sitting there thinking the one thing that I want to improve is Trent Alexander-Arnold and his defending at the back post, because a fullback needs to be able to defend at the back post, especially when it's someone like Trent who's going to play week in, week out. You're not going to be playing Joe Gomez, but Joe Gomez in that circumstance with Mitrovic would have done, in my opinion, a much better job. And it just goes to show that maybe stylistically sometimes a player might be better than another, and I thought Trent was very sloppy today, first half and second half. I thought the cross balls were good because we know he can pass a ball. It's kind of got to a point with Trent, like, if he does a good pass, he can do it. So it's about working on the other parts of his game that we need to focus on. So if I'm Jurgen, that's the main thing I'm trying to drill into him this season, is his positioning and being on his toes and being alert, concentrating more in games. And I thought on the ball, he was very underwhelming today. In terms of the second half, when we came back out, and I don't really think it improved. 5 minutes in, we made a change. Bobby Firmino went off. Nunez came on with Harvey Elliott. And then the game kind of shifted. You saw a little bit more life in the team. I feel like a lot of people are going to be sitting there thinking, why didn't Nunez come on sooner? I was fine with seeing Bobby start, but I did notice pretty straight away he was off the paces. You can see that maybe he should be the one on the bench at the moment. And then you go out and start your new big money signing, someone who scored 4 goals against Leipzig. I know it was pre-season. Scored against Manchester City in the Community Shield. Someone who's got that little bit of form about them. And not to mention, came on and scored a goal today. Had a few great chances as well. And I want to talk about Darwin Nunez before I touch on Firmino, because Darwin Nunez, you all know, I've had my doubts here and there. Let me hire my chair up, it feels dead small on this camera. You know I've had my doubts regarding Darwin Nunez. I've always said that I think he's a good player, but that's all I think he is. I don't think he's better than Mane, for instance, but he's a different player to Mane, and slowly but surely I'm starting to realise that. I already knew he was different, but what I mean is what is Nunez going to bring to Liverpool? And it is that instinct in front of goal. It is being in the right place at the right time. And he has got a decent finish. I'd say he's a better finisher than Firmino, which I've always said. That's why I wouldn't be opposed to a number 9 above Firmino, like an actual striker, not just someone who wears the number 9. And I think Nunez is just that. So, listen, do I think he'll score 20 goals this season at least? I do. And I think that'll be a good season? Yes, because if you expect anything more, like, if you expect link-up passes from Nunez, you're probably not going to get that. If you expect beautiful skill moves where he's nutmegging fellas like Luis Diaz or Luis Suarez, again, probably not going to get that. And I think today he was poor in linking up the play, but he came on and scored a goal, and that was his job. So, as far as I'm concerned, Darwin Nunez, fucking buzzing with you, mate, well in. Darwin, numbers 27. Firmino, I've seen a few people on Twitter saying that Firmino was finished. I'd love to get your thoughts on this in the comments down below as well. I think saying finished is very harsh. It was like when people were saying Mane is finished. It's like, it's ridiculous to say that. I think he's still a very good player if he's not world class. And I think last season he showed a lot of glimpses to where he was still really good and can still offer something to this squad. But notice what I said there, to the squad. He's not a starting player. I don't think, even though, like, if we had Jota fit, I'd be putting Jota in that front three. And again, I weren't dead disheartened to see Firmino there today, but you can see sometimes when he starts a game, he is quite slow, and I thought that we saw that in the City game as well. To be fair, I didn't think he was the greatest in that performance. So I'm not going to say he's finished. I'm not going to say let's sell him. I feel like that's very reactionary. But do I want to see Darwin Nunez starting from now on? Yeah, because he's already got that momentum. Yeah, Fabinho took a while and Robertson took a while to get into the 11. But if a striker's going to come in and his job's to score goals and he's already scoring goals, it'd be just quite ridiculous to have to settle him in even more. If he has a bad patch, then I understand it. Regarding Liverpool's performance overall, I thought we had a spell in the second half. I think Salah really, kicked in a little bit in spells. I thought he was very poor in the first half, but like everyone was. Regarding the second goal of Fulham, which came after, I believe we went 2-1 up, and then, was it when we went 2-1 up? I'm not sure, or was it? No, I think they went 2-1 up and then it went 2-2. Either way, my head always goes frazzled after the game like that. That was insane. But when Mitrovic got that penalty, was it a penalty for me? I'd say so. I would say so. I think it was enough for the penalty. I've saw a lot of Liverpool fans saying it was a dive and whatnot. Listen, do you know, like the way when VAR first came about and they were picking it for toes and toenails and fingers and shit, like armpit hairs, all that stuff. When they were doing that, we slowly but surely adapted as Premier League fans that that's just the way it is. So Jurgen Klopp has said to the boys, listen, this is the way they're doing offside. Let's play our offline trap this way. How brilliant was that decision? I think now with the penalties, we've just got to realise as football fans, that is now a penalty in today's modern game. There was very little contact, but Van Dijk did put a leg out. There was a clash of knees. It was a penalty, and there was no doubt in my mind from when I saw the replay that it was going to be given. So I'm not going to sit there and say daylight robbery. I'm not going to sit there and say if it was given the other way, it's a robbery as well, because again, there was little contact. But in today's game, that's a penalty. So I don't know what you want me to say. And I thought Mitrovic took the penalty brilliantly, won the penalty brilliantly, and people might blame Van Dijk for putting the leg out. I think 9 times out of 10 he handles that situation perfectly, but the defensive structure of a team doesn't just go through one player. Yet we improved when Van Dijk came in, but defending always starts from the midfield. And midfield, we gave the ball away, we gave them an opportunity where they could even be 1-on-2 with us, and even though it was Trent, and Van Dijk should have realised Trent was back behind him and maybe just let Mitrovic go past him without sticking a leg out. It was just a moment, a lapse of concentration that wouldn't have happened if the structure was just correctly handled beforehand. So that's the way I sort of look at it and think about the situation. Let me know what you think. Was it a penalty for you? I'm not saying it was a definite penalty, but if I'm the referee and I blew the whistle and thought that was a penalty, I'm not going to go to the VAR screen and overturn it. I thought that was absolutely fine. And then it finished 2-2. It's not the result you want on the opening day of the season. I absolutely get that. But if there's a time that you're going to draw with a newly promoted side like Fulham in 2-2, it's probably now. So I'm okay with that. They have a good team. They have a good manager. They're a tough side. They're going to give other teams tough games. They are more up for it than us. They seem to have more rhythm than us. It is what it is. And we go again. And listen, a point is 10 times better than a loss. And I'm not trying to sound like Michael Owen there, but it is. It's not just because it's a point on the board, but even the fact that we can play so shit but still come away with something, because based on that performance, we shouldn't have came away with anything. But because we do have quality, we were able to come away with something. And, even chances from Henderson at the end. It just goes to show that we do have the quality to where we can still draw back in these games, and that point could be the point difference of us winning the league at the end of the season, because we've saw multiple times that we can lose the league on a point. So it is what it is. That's my thoughts on the game. Not disaster, not panic stations. it's just the start of hopefully something very, very beautiful, and fair play to Fulham as well. Loads more games coming today in the Premier League, which hopefully I'll talk about through the week. I'm going to do a video on Mane leaving as well. I might, I was going to do the whole shabackle where I talk about me returning to YouTube. It doesn't matter. I'd rather just do it by uploading videos instead of explaining myself all the time when I'm going on a hiatus. The last thing that I do want to say is that 888 Sport were recently doing a bait, roughly around Spurs finishing above Liverpool. I'll put the clip in first.
Been working with each other for a long time. There's no justification on earth that can have Tottenham above Liverpool.
No,
there's nothing. There is nothing. You
One
can
at
do
a
the
time.
Man City. The Man City you can do, and I'll give you that. Give
One
you that
at
all
a
day.
time.
There is
He's
nothing.
right.
There is nothing.
Calm down on that.
No, but Spurs, you're saying
There's
the Spurs
nothing.
thing, because Rory's saying the Spurs thing, because I know how you feel
Conte,
about Conte,
that's the
yeah?
only thing.
And the window that
But
they've
Conte
had.
is not better than Klopp.
Let's not get this twisted. There is zero... forget winning trophies, because that's Tottenham. We know that, right? But in terms of putting up
that's
those...
out of order.
No, sorry, I'm just saying.
backed you.
No, hold on a minute. We've got to talk about like sample size, and evidence. Yeah. Spurs have gone nowhere near 90 plus points
Why are
to
you
prove that they can
talking?
keep pace with
Why-
Liverpool.
why-
The only-
why-
in the last few seasons,
Can I
the
just,
only
can I just
people
ask you a question on that?
Go on.
So Tottenham haven't. You said Tottenham have got nowhere near 90 points. Conte has.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Jose Mourinho was a serial winner as he walked into
No,
the
no,
No,
Spurs.
he wasn't
no,
at
no,
Tottenham.
no.
Not when he went into
This
Tottenham.
is
He wasn't. He'd
different.
had Man
This is
United by
totally
then.
different.
Hang on a minute.
He
Hold on a minute.
He won trophies at Old Trafford.
He's completed the set,
This
mate.
is totally
Yeah,
different.
Spurs is the
he
common
would have won a
denominator.
trophy at Tottenham, but they sacked him.
Hold on.
Jose Mourinho was a serial winner when he went to United.
And he won.
Yeah, he did. And you lot sat there and said, oh, he's taking the piss when he said, we finished second and it was his biggest achievement. It was. It was his biggest achievement.
One second.
Told you.
Can't
Told
talk
you
about
this
serial
happened.
winners.
Tell me.
Told you this.
Tell me why Spurs.
Potty mouth.
Tell me, get some soap. Tell me why Spurs are going to finish above Liverpool.
That is insane.
That's insane.
It's insane.
Okay,
There's no evidence to support that.
Some rather controversial points made. You'll need to see the video to see the whole debate. I thought it was quite interesting, but I do agree. I do think Liverpool are still going to be good enough to finish above Spurs. Call me ludicrous. But anyway, thank you for watching the video. Make sure you click the top link in the description to go and check out the 888 Sport video. And let me know what you think about the game, who your man of the match was, and peace.